On this week's episode of Ask Ethan, we're touching on what is an escalation clause in a real estate contract. So you may have heard a term out there called an escalation clause when it comes to a real estate purchase. Well, what is a escalation clause? So that is used by a buyer typically when they're trying to purchase a property and there's going to be multiple offers in there, and they want to offer one price just in case there's no other offer higher than them. So we'll call it, they're offering $300,000 because that's what they want to buy it for. However, if another buyer comes in and they offer $310,000, the escalation clause could say something like, we're willing to go $1,000 over the highest offer up to $315,000. So meaning if someone came in at $320, well, you're not gonna go that high. So someone comes at $310, you're gonna beat them by $1,000. So now all of a sudden your offer is $311,000. It is a good way as a buyer to position yourself in a way of trying not to overpay if you don't need to. That is why buyers typically use that, because they don't want to just offer $315,000 if they could have got it for $300. The problem with that is you are kind of laying out your cards for the seller at that point. If they know you're willing to go to $315,000, then why don't they could just counter back and say, all right, we'll counter you. You can have the house, but you're paying $315 for it. At that point, you've kind of laid all your cards on the table. But as a buyer, it can be used very effectively in this market when you have tons of offers coming in if you don't want to overpay for something, to use that. However, a lot of people think that price is the only thing that is the deciding factor in an offer, and it's really not. So if somebody else has better terms otherwise in their contract, if you're only willing to beat somebody by $500 or $1,000, which is what we see a lot in escalation clauses, there's a lot of stuff in a real estate transaction that trumps $1,000 of cash. So whether it's inspection, appraisal gap coverage, timeline on closing, and all that stuff. So in my opinion, if you're going to write an escalation clause, you need it to be high enough over the highest best offer by a significant amount that some of this other stuff in the contract may not be as worrisome to the seller at that point. So as always, if you have any questions on the real estate process, on the home buying process, especially in this crazy market we're in right now, if you have more questions on escalation clauses, we'd love to answer those for you. Just shoot us a quick DM and we'll get right back to you as soon as we can.